Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another video edition of BK's Bullets. Hopefully, if you like these, we'll start doing them other than unboxings. I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to talk about a video game I played, which has to do with comics, which is why it's here, because it's going to be a comic-centered channel I'm hoping to build if I get some good feedback. So, I want to talk today about the Telltale Batman game. Now, it just recently finished in the month of December. Episode 5 came out, and there are 5 episodes if you've ever played a Telltale game, they're adventure games, and they're based on you making dialogue decisions for characters. Sometimes there's another action, whether if you play the Walking Dead ones, if you stab somebody or so-and-so. But the Batman ones was excellent. I have played Walking Dead Season 1, Walking Dead Season 2, the Game of Thrones one, and I think I played the first episode of the Fables Wolf Among Us video game. But Batman really blew me away storytelling-wise. I'm a big Batman fan. If you've seen my man cave, you know it's mostly Batman stuff. But what blew me away about them with the Batman is that they did something with the Batman mythos that no one had ever thought to do before because they thought it's so sacred. Kind of like how you think about Spider-Man, the killing of Uncle Ben is so sacred and core to that character. Well, for Batman, the equivalent of that is that his parents died and they were great people, and Batman, or young Bruce Wayne, took on an oath to avenge them. And that still happens here. They're still killed. He still takes on an oath to avenge them. The twist at the end of the first episode, which I don't think spoils anything because it keeps going, but the twist at the first episode is that Martha and Thomas Wayne were some of the biggest gangsters in Gotham while Bruce was a young child, along with Carmine Falcone. In fact, they were in league with Carmine Falcone. And that blew my mind. It turned the whole table on Batman and Bruce Wayne in terms of his relationship with the cops, his relationship with the public. And at first I thought it was going to be, something that was fake. I think there was in Arkham Knight, they had something like, here's some dirt on your parents, here's some dirt on Alfred, and all of that stuff turned out to be kind of, fraudulent, made up, fabricated. This was real. There were some documents that came out in the middle of the story that proved everything. You never got to see them, but it was just an accepted fact in the universe that this wasn't BS. This was a real thing, that Thomas and Martha Wayne were in league with Carmine Falcone, the biggest gangster in Gotham, and they were pretty bad people. In fact, you see some video of Thomas doing some things later on, I think in the 3rd or 4th episode, which are just horrendous stuff. Really makes you regret that you're his son if you're playing as Bruce Wayne. And that change to the mythos really shaped the whole story, and I thought that was so cool. It was this hook to grab you. Instead of, a big Batman fan, I was kind of hesitant, going, how cool is this going to be? What story could they tell? When I first heard that they announced that this was going to be Batman at the beginning of his career, I kind of rolled my eyes, because that seems to be the way people go a lot of times when they make Batman movies or video games, or we want to tell a new story. Let's bring Batman back to the beginning of his career. It's been done so many times. I didn't really believe that they were going to turn out something so cool. But they did, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. In fact, that's why I'm ranting and raving about this. So if you're a Batman fan, go and play this game. If you haven't played a Telltale game before, there are some things with Telltale games that you do have to accept. Frankly, that's the engine. The graphics look great on this Batman game, but the mechanics, the engine, it just doesn't run very well. If you played the other Telltale games since The Walking Dead came out, you know what I'm talking about. Scene transitions, it stutters, it freezes, sometimes the lips don't sync up with the dialogue. What was terrible about episode 1 of this Batman Telltale series is that it starts with a huge fight scene. Alright, Batman's taking down some thugs, he eventually encounters Catwoman, and during the fight with Catwoman, you're activating the controls, you're doing the quick time events, getting Batman to throw a batarang or punch Catwoman or whatever he's doing, and sometimes there would be no sound effect, and that was a little jarring. Or the music would cut out, and there would be the sound effect, or the sound effect was late. Now, I'm used to the Telltale stuff stuttering from scene transitions or if a character gets stuck, because for most of the time, it's usually just dialogue. For these other games. Walking Dead has a little bit of things with you gotta kill the zombie at the right time in certain spots, but this was their I guess they wanted to be their kick down the door moment. Unfortunately, it was full of starts and stutters, but when you encounter this, do not let it deter you. This is the only first 15 to 20 minutes of the game. I introduced my brother to it when he was in town for Christmas. I sat him down and said, you got to try this. He got through the fight scene. He was like, okay, I'm done. I don't really want to do anything else. And I said, stop. Keep going. You're getting to the party with Harvey Dent and stuff. He's your best buddy. He's running for mayor. That's where the dialogue stuff starts, and that's really where the game kicks in. He could not put this game down the entire time he was at my house. He didn't get to finish it. I'm sure the next time I see him, he's going to come down and say, get me that Batman game. I want to play the rest of it. He really, really enjoyed it. So that twist was very cool. Just you have to get past the engine stuff. One more thing I thought was great about this Telltale Batman story. Harvey Dent is a character in the beginning of the series. And based off your choices in the game, he's either still Harvey Dent or he becomes, we all know, the villain Two-Face with the scar and everything like that. I thought it was so neat that in my playthrough, I've only played through it once, in my playthrough, I never encountered Two-Face with the scar. I saved Harvey on one item and he never became Two-Face. I thought that was really cool. I guess in other playthroughs, I haven't done it yet, but I will, I want to, he gets the scarred half of his face and he's still doing some of the same things that he's doing in the game. So in one version of the game, you might get the villain Two-Face who is still mayor of Gotham, and doing terrible things. In other words, it's even worse because it's Harvey Dent. He doesn't have the scarring, and he's still doing terrible things because inside, it's not the face that makes Harvey Dent crazy, it's his mind. If you know Harvey Dent or you've seen some of the other things, you already know that he was a little bit messed up here, and it takes some things and time for it to fully manifest itself. So in that way was a little bit of a caveat. He wasn't a completely different character just because he didn't have the facial scars. But it was very cool that you could have two separate branching paths in terms of what happens to Harvey Dent. So I hope they play that out a little bit more in the next series if they do a Season 2. I hope they do. And just because it's a Telltale game and it has its stops and starts, do not let that deter you. This is a great Batman story, one that everyone should check out. There are some other twists that I didn't spoil for you that should not be missed. There's a moment with Catwoman that I did not think was going to happen, and that was kind of like, okay, that was kind of cool. It's definitely a very mature Batman game. It is rated M, so if you have little kids that love Batman, they are not to play this. There's a lot of violence, there's some crime scenes, there's some adult situations, and stuff like that. Definitely not for little kids. In fact, the Arkham games, you could let a kid play that. Some of them are rated Teen. I know the last one was rated M because some terrible things happened in that one. But, for the most part, there's no violence or gore or anything like that. This is not to be played. This is like an R-rated video game, so just putting that out there. But it is not to be missed if you're a huge Batman fan. You can check it out on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation. I even think they have it on iOS for your phone and iPad if you want to play that way. I played The Walking Dead Season 1 on my iPad and really enjoyed it, so that doesn't mean that you won't enjoy it if you play it on a mobile device. So check it out any way you can. If you can find it during a sale, usually you can get it for like 13, 15 bucks. Otherwise, it's probably going to cost you 20 to 25 bucks, which isn't bad because you get probably 8 to 10 hours of story out of this game. So it is a great game. So 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend Telltale, a Batman Telltale series. 2 thumbs up. It was my game of the year for 2016. So do not miss out. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you next time.